Breaking news at 9, arrests in downtown LA as protests that were peaceful all day long turn violent. Tonight, the demonstrations are part of a nationwide strike against President Trump's immigration crackdown. Good evening. I'm Pat Harvey.
I'm Rudabe Shabazi. Tonight, what was mostly a peaceful day here at home has given way to arrests after protesters clashed with police in downtown LA.
And CBS LA's Hunter Sowards is live in downtown right now with how the demonstrations escalated. Hunter.
Well, things are certainly looking very different right now, Pat. There are more LAPD officers out here patrolling this stretch of Alameda and Temple Street than were protesters this afternoon. But we can tell you there was quite a turn that was taken around 6:30 this afternoon when those protesters went face to face, clashing with police. Tonight, defiance in downtown as protesters and police clash. This all happening hours after thousands of people marched peacefully through the streets of Los Angeles, denouncing ICE and demanding change.
I think just people need to be out there. There's nothing else that's as important as this.
At one point, LAPD could be seen taking people into custody.
They're all the way up against the Federal Building, right on the edge there. They tear gassed the whole crowd.
Protesters initially gathered outside of the detention facility, the location people are taken after being detained by ICE, a rallying point since federal enforcement operations began.
It's sad to see, communities torn apart for political purposes.
Later, skirmish lines began forming to push people away from the detention facility.
Back up, back up.
Our cameras capturing the moments water bottles started being thrown as LAPD continued corralling people down North Alameda.
This isn't what the U.S. is for. You should not be kidnapping people on the streets, taking people away from their families.
LAPD eventually declaring a citywide tactical alert in response to the moving protest, with Mayor Bass late tonight urging calm, calling on people to protest safely.
All of our civil liberties are at stake right now. Everything's at stake.
Back out here live, I want to give you all a sense of what we're seeing, at least in this part of downtown. This really was the epicenter of all of that escalation that you saw in this story, but things look very different right now. As I said, more LAPD officers out here patrolling near the detention facility, still blocking off this street near Temple and Alameda. But again, protesters are still out walking through the streets of downtown right now, albeit a lot smaller crowd than what we saw earlier. We have reached out for more information on exactly how many arrests had to be made tonight, but we still have not heard back on that. Of course, we're going to continue to track it for you, bring you those updates as we get them. Reporting live here downtown, we'll send things back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Hunter. And we do have team coverage tonight.
SkyCal's Desmond Shaw is live over downtown LA. Desmond.
Rudabe and Pat, we are northbound on Spring Street, probably headed back towards LA City Hall. That's kind of the area where these protesters have been parading around all afternoon and now into the night. At one point, there were more than 10,000 of them. We're down to less than 100 now, maybe between 50 and 75 people. They went and took a little break in Pershing Square. Been walking quite a bit of mileage today, I must say. So wonder how much longer they're going to keep this up. And it doesn't really look like LAPD is making any effort to disperse them. They've had a helicopter overhead them on and off, as well as maybe a police drone just kind of keeping tabs on things, but it's just kind of been peaceful marching in the middle of the street. So not expecting any LAPD action as long as it continues like this. So maybe headed back towards City Hall, and we'll see what their next move is going to be, but the protest definitely beginning to die down after a very hectic afternoon. Live in SkyCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Pat and Rudabe, back to you in the studio.
Desmond, thank you. Now today's national stand down in downtown LA started off peacefully. Tens of thousands of people marched through the streets of LA, making their voices heard on this day of action against immigration operations across the U.S.
It's extremely important to do this because it sets a precedent for what's to come in the future.
This country was built by immigrants. It was shaped by immigrants, and immigrants are the reason why we are here today. And so with ICE just attacking our people, we have no choice but to stand up and take action against them.
The nationwide movement, dubbed ICE Out Everywhere, called for an economic shutdown, urging people to also skip work and shopping in protest of federal immigration policies. And while some businesses closed in solidarity, others chose to stay open, turning their workday into a form of support, like at Saint's Coffee Shop in Studio City.
Living my American dream, we're coming to work really, really hard. I think the best way to raise my voice is keeping my shop open for all my employees and all the community.
Owner Ezekiel Grisano says he and his wife are immigrants and will be donating a portion of today's proceeds to a nonprofit that supports immigrant families.
We also saw students walking out of class from several local districts. La Habra and Sonora high school students walked out and marched in protest. So did students from Santa Ana at Valley High School and Godinez Fundamental High School, voicing their frustrations over immigration operations and the deadly shootings in Minnesota.